So hi everyone, here's Jerry, your favorite Polish medlad. So today we are doing more abilities. So first ability will be this little medikit, and the second one will be this wall that you can put in any place you want, and it spawns and you can walk on it. Yeah, and the medikit, I can show you how it's working well if I change my... Yeah. So if I put this little kit here and it's my other character who goes on it, you can see that it heals him. And yeah, thank you and see you in the tutorial. Today, before starting this episode, let's go to the package manager. Let's download something called G-Twin. Twins are made for doing little animations that you don't want to do in your code. So this is my favorite run, John from John Twin, you know. So let's import it to the project and let's drop it in the store assets. Nice. So now that we have the June in our project, let's head to our prefab of our player and let's add here our first new ability, which will be the wall. So let's create it. So the wall will be a state machine in which we will do some simple things, but very important. So let's start by adding some variables in here. So yeah, those will be very nice. Let's start by setting those variables in here, and let's of course override the mono behavior by the ability class here. So here of course you initiate your cooldown, your ability colors, your interface, and of course the cost of your ability. So let's start by adding its ability update. So this ability will work this way. So first we're gonna show a preview of her ability, and next we're gonna spawn it. So in order to make it happen, first we're gonna go through our update ability base, so we can have the correct inputs. Next we're gonna check if we have the key down, if the cooldown is activated, and if we have the energy to use it. Next, we are just casting a raycast in front of us to know if we are activating anything. So this way we are sure that everything's done correctly. And next, we are checking if we are the controller. If we are the controller and we don't have any preview, we're gonna create one. And in the case that we have already a preview, that we have hit one time the button, now we're gonna check if we are close enough to simply put the wall. If we are not close enough, the wall simply will be the preview will be destroyed, and we will reset everything, you know. So here now we are in the case that we are the owners on the server. Simply we are gonna check if we are in the preview mode. If we are in the preview mode, we're gonna check if the conditions are available to spawn the wall. If they are, we're gonna first reduce the energy, we're gonna start the cooldown, and we're gonna spawn of course the wall at the end. And of course if we have already a wall in the game and we want to spawn another one, the wall will simply disappear. Here, this little line will help us to change from preview mode to non-preview mode. Yeah, And now let's make the preview work correctly. So in order to make it work correctly, if the preview exists, we're gonna simply create a raycast from it. Let's maybe make it update, so this way it's more fluent. And if so we're gonna send a raycast from our camera like here, and simply we're gonna change its position, we're gonna change its rotation, and we're gonna translate it in the up direction in order to be sure that the wall is not in the ground. So yeah, let's now check here if the wall is close enough or is near enough to change the mode. So if it's too far and the condition is true here, it will simply say that it's too far, and if it's too close, it will say that it's too close. And this is simply done by the set color function here. We can change it here too, so this way we have the same everywhere, like so. And yeah, very good, very good. So here what we want in addition, it's to create a prefab. So let's create those prefabs. So first let's make this playground more big, this way. Let's add here some cubes like so, and let's make them tall enough to be sure that everything's works correctly. Let's duplicate them, let's place it randomly, and very good. So now we have a playground. Create an empty game object that we will rename wall, like so. In here we're gonna add so yeah, here we need the bolt entity with the physics state. We need the network rigid body, network rigid body, in order to be sure that we can place it on the ground. We need the rigid body because otherwise it's not working. And we need our new script that we will name bolt destroy, that will help us destroy things on the network. So let's go here and let's see what we write in it. So pretty simple, no need to be upset. Here we just gonna add this little amount of script. We're gonna have a delay, we will gonna wait for the delay, and we're gonna destroy the object if we are the owner on the network, of course. So bolt network.destroy into parentheses game object. So we're gonna destroy this object on the network, and after this amount of seconds. So here we have our object, we can spawn it right now, but we want this to simply have a wall inside it. So here, in order to make the wall appear, we're gonna add a new game object that will be the cube, and here we're gonna add the twin runtime script. This script will help us to simply move the object on the y-axis, for example. So -2 + 2, and here is in the local space simply. And here let's make it that it has these values, and let's put it underground. So here when we are starting okay, so before putting our prefab here in the prefabs, let's just freeze the position and the rotation in order to make sure that the wall don't move. And now we can try it to see if it works correctly. Yeah, the wall appears correctly and everything's done. So let's put it here and let's remove it from every scene. And let's create the preview for our object. So let's create a object totally similar to our wall, but here let's just say that we don't want any collider here, and we want a new material for it. Let's call it let's make a new folder, materials. Sorry. And here in materials, let's create a material like so. And here let's name it preview, like so. And here let's select a legacy shader in order to make it pretty simple. So diffuse, yeah, very good. Very simple material will help us to manage this little preview, wall preview. And now let's just go to our prefabs here, and let's drop this down here. Let's head to our player. Let's attach everything that we need. So the camera to the camera on the ability here. Let's select only the default player. Let's put the wall preview in the state machine and the wall preset in the wall thing. And at the end of our assignment, here we're gonna simply put the wall at the skill ability, the wall prefab. And now we need to compile the game in order to make sure that this one is registered in the prefabs of Vault. So now that you build your game, you can see that if you press one time the button of your wall, you can see the color changes based on the distance, and of course it changes based on the surface normal that you have it on. So if you tap another one of this of your button of this ability, you can see that the wall spawns and you can walk on it like a real boss. So yeah, very nice, very nice. I appreciate that the wall works correctly. So here you can spawn another one, the last one disappears, and the ability works. So now we can make the medikit. So what will we do for the medikit? Pretty simple, we already have made the wall, so we know how we can do this. So now we can start to make the medikit. So in order to make the medikit, let's start by making the prefab for it. So let's create a cube here. Let's name it medikit, like so. And let's simply see what we have in here. So with our medikit, we want to have some dimension of it like so. Yeah. Pretty sexy medikit. And here what we want in addition, it's pretty simple. We want a bolt entity in order to make sure that the medikit has it. Let's make it physics state, a rigid body, because we want to change to throw it from our player. Let's freeze the rotation because we don't want it to rotate. Let's add here the network rigid body script, and let's add a sphere collider here that will have a distance of the radius of 3, and in it we will have is trigger, and we will add a new script to it, AOE, area of effect. So yeah, area of effect will help us to know if player or not is in the range. So first, what we want here is pretty simple. We want just to copy some basic things like here. So medikit will have some getters, pretty simple getters like here. So the interval between each cycle of a thing, the launcher that we will set in the future, and of course the setter of the launcher. So here, let's add two new functions in it, the onTrigger enter and the onTrigger exit function. So this way we can reference every player that we have in this in our little thing. Yeah, and here when a player enter, we add it, and if a player leaves, we remove it. And a last function in the fix update. So here we're gonna add the fix update. So the fix update will help us to know if we can heal players who are inside the trigger. So here first we're gonna check if we are okay with this little cooldown of our medikit. If we are okay, we first remove every reference of players that are null. Players who maybe died in the trigger. And for the end, we simply trim the list in order to have the correct size. And now we're gonna simply put that we have now the last cycle time. So here we're gonna iterate through all of our players that are inside this sphere, and here we're gonna give him negative damage. So if we have here set the damage to 10, we will remove 10 damage, 10 life from the player. So maybe if we have a grenade, for example. And in the other side, if we have the damage here set it to negative, so we have negative damage, that will heal the player that is in the area of effect. So now let's create the script that will help us throw a little medikit. So let's put the prefab here, yeah, like so, and let's remove it. Let's first compile this to register everything, like so. And now we need simply to go to our scripts in my other screen and go to the medikit, and let's create the medikit on the player. So let's create on the player prefab here the medikit, like so. Let's create it, let's add it, and here let's see what we need inside it. Pretty basic ability here. We're gonna need to override the mono behavior by ability behavior, and here we're gonna need some simple variables like camera transform, like layers, and like maximum distance. So yeah, let's first think about the awake. So in the awake, we're gonna simply add here the cost to 1 and the cooldown to 10, let's say. And in order to see it, let's go to the update ability override here. So in here we're gonna simply do like always, so go through the base of ability update with the button to get the button down. Here we're gonna check as usual if the ability has its cooldown up, if the energy is okay, and now we're gonna just say that the timer will be started, Here, if we are the entity controller, we're gonna start the cooldown on the UI, and if we are the owner, we're gonna remove the cost of the ability to auto the energy that we have, and we're gonna recast in order to see if we don't have any wall in front of us, so this way we can't throw the medikit in a wall and don't get its life like so. And yeah, so here we're gonna check if we hit anything with the max distance. If we hit anything with the max distance, we simply spawn it on the floor, and if we are not on the max distance, we're gonna simply spawn it under us, like so. Pretty simple, don't you think? Yeah, I think so. And here, of course, at the end, we're gonna just set the launcher in this player, in this thing. So this way we know that we are the launcher of it, and we can do in the future some things with it. So yeah, now we have everything set. Let's go to our player prefab, and let's first assign the camera to the camera, and the layer to default layer, like so. So this way we can spawn it on entities directly. So let's check everything. Let's simply put the scripts that we need in the correct folders. So medikit is an ability, the AoE is an ability too. Oh, come on, don't be a kid, please help me. Yeah, Unity, don't be so annoying. Unity, please, sometimes. Ability wall, and here the bolt destroy, let's put it in the in general, because it's a general script that will be used in more than one thing. Let's check if we have missed anything. Yeah, so let's go to our prefabs, and here let's set the medic amount that we gain to -10, and let's say that the thing is destroyed after a little bits of time. So let's say the bolt destroy, it will destroy the medikit after 10 seconds, like so. And on our player prefab, let's just link the medikit to the skill slot. So let's save the scene, and let's build the game. Okay, so now that you have opened 2 instances of clients of your game, and you did make some damage to an opponent, you can see that if you spawn your medikit, it will recharge the HP of a character over time. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. So now let's talk about what happened. So you can see that you didn't have your episode like usually, mainly because I need to re-record this end of this episode because it was corrupted, and I didn't have the time to record it. And you can see that the microphone is not the same, mainly because the microphone is shit, mainly because the cable broke between the time, and you know, many complications. So yeah, thank you for watching. I will publish episode of a devlog soon about the development of Vandalhalla. And yeah, so see you again in the next episode. We will do grenades. Check our social media. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. And yeah, So remember to code every day. Bye!